Hi guys, today I'm going to walk you through how to make a delicious loaf of bread. What I have got here is a stone ground whole grain flour. So I have just over 3 cups of flour in here, and also I have got, I've forgotten what I've got, 1 teaspoon of salt already in there. Okay, so once it's in there, it's best to use your hand, as I was taught on YouTube. It's called the claw. So get your claw, give it a good stir. We want to make sure that that salt goes evenly through the flour. So just give it a good massage through until you think that it's done. Flour's done. Just going to pop this over to the side for a sec. Okay, now I've got some warm water. I've got 1.5 cups of warm water, not hot and not cold, so just warm. Stick your finger in, tell if it's warm. Perfect. In that, I'm going to add 30 mils or 1/8 of a cup of applesauce. Oh, I thought you might be able to read that. You won't be able to. Okay, so 1/8. I use applesauce. I don't use oil. So our bread is low oil, and it's the tiniest bit of sugar through 1 whole loaf of bread. So that, in our family anyway, that's fine. Also into that mixture, we want our yeast. Yeast is best kept in the freezer, so it's nice and cold. All right, now we have got 2.5 teaspoons. So 1 teaspoon, 2, and then I just guess a half in the sink. Pop that over, grab your whisk, give it a whisk. This is actually the second time I've done it because I mucked it up the first time. I normally make three or 4 loaves in one go, so I'm not having to do it every week. Do it probably once a fortnight, I would say. They're perfect. I just chop them, put them in the freezer, frozen, and then they obviously just pull them out when we need them. And also this bread is really good, still defrosted and fresh. It doesn't have to be frozen to be okay. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure that that's whisked through properly. I'm just gonna pop it over onto my oven. Now I'm going to contact Google and get her to set the timer for 10 minutes. Hang on. Okay, Google, set timer for 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes. Starting now.
I still laugh at that thing, it's really cool. Okay guys, now because this is the second time through for me, I actually already, just in the wonder of television, have already lined my baking tin. I didn't always line the tin, but sometimes when I make the loaves, they come right over the side and they were hooking in and under the tin. So essentially I was having to break the loaf of bread, the ends of the loaf of bread, to get it out. So now, after a few times of doing it and then figuring it out, I thought I would use paper, hence now they just pop out, because even if it does fold over, obviously the paper is there stopping it from sticking underneath. So that's what I do. You also don't have to use a tin. Sometimes if I just want it to look a little bit different, or if I've got people coming over and I want it to, again, look different, a bit fancy, just pop it straight on a baking tray and just let it evolve into its own loaf. Okay, I'm gonna put you on pause and then I'll be back when Google tells me 10 minutes is up and our yeast is ready. Be back soon. Hi guys, back again. All the fruit and veggies and the tofu are over there because in that 10 minutes I'm getting ready to chop all our veggies up tonight to have with our delicious tofu. But that one I'll walk you through on another day. Okay, so you can maybe see on the top of the yeast mixture, you can see it's all frothy. That is what it needs to look like. If for some reason it's not, either your yeast is no good or you haven't put enough yeast in, the temperature can affect it. It's something that you'll just learn to do, that I learnt to do. So I learn. I learned. So if I can do it, you can do it, believe me. Because I'd never made bread before at this point. Okay, so with that awesome frothy yeast mixture and our 3 cups of yeast and salt, pour it in like so. Wipe it all out, don't want to waste anything. Over into the sink we go. Alright. And then, rather than the claw, it's more like a spoon. Give it a good mix. Now first, when I was making bread, I was following a recipe, which is good, but as I learnt more, I've really learnt to feel the bread, and it does happen. I reckon it easily took me 8 months, maybe even 12 months to actually make it and again feel it. It really is true. I remember the key for me was watching The Happy Pear on YouTube, great resource for cooking, and they had a baker in, and he said something like, do away with the recipe and feel the bread. So I'm feeling the bread. It works. Stir it in, like so, and I just keep lifting underneath and turning it over. I'm quite gentle with it, not wanting to force it. It's really quite sticky, but a dry sort of sticky, if that makes sense. It will make sense the more you do it. Okay. Then I pop her out onto the bench so you can see. Now, if for some reason I think it's a little bit dry, just add a bit of water. I have a feeling it might be a little bit dry. I'm not sure yet. I'm just going to see how I go. No, I won't overthink that. It's a little bit dry. So I'll just get a little bit of water. Again, I'm just going to judge it by feel. A little bit of water, I just pop it straight on. So here we go. This can be in the how to fix your loaf of bread when it doesn't go right, which will be another video again. Or maybe not, we'll have a bit of it over here. Again, I just keep massaging it. I'm sure there's some cooking word for what I'm doing with the dough. Kneading the dough, I think that's it. Alright, you can see our dough is turning into, check it out, that is really cool. I love baking bread. My kids have toast in the morning. If they have breakfast, they have toast in the morning, and for myself I can just sit back and go, I know exactly what is in that bread. Stone grain flour, little bit of salt, little bit of applesauce, and yeast, and that's, pardon me, and that's it. And I'd never made bread before, never. So if I can learn to do it, and I wouldn't call myself a terrific cook, I'm really basic with my skills because I'm busy. And the food we eat is really basic. Pop it in the tin, like so. Give it a little bit of pat of love. You've got to love your food as you're doing it. When I'm cross or upset or anything like that, if I can get into cooking, makes me feel heaps better. Changes all those negative emotions into something really positive and beautiful. Okay, now, you can see in there, it doesn't fit in the tin. I'm hoping it's going to grow big enough to fit in the tin. Like I said, I don't normally only make one. I make 3 or 4 loaves, but you know, we'll see how we go. Luck of the draw. I'm going to pop it over. There's Google. Okay, Google, stop. Just going to pop this on the oven. Again, my trusty cover. You don't have to, but I do. We're going to set Google for half an hour. Okay, Google, set timer for 30 minutes.
All right, 30 minutes. And we're starting now.
Very cool. Okay, so that's just going to sit on the oven and rise for 30 minutes. The oven, I have the oven at 190 degrees Celsius. I have the fan on as well, so it's 190 degrees Celsius, fan forced. All right, I'll be back again. See ya. Hi guys, 30 minutes is up. You can see the loaf has risen some. It hasn't filled the tin up. That's fine. So just in there. So now I'm going to pop this just as it is. It doesn't need anything on top of it. If you did want to brown it, sometimes I do put just the lightest layer of oil on there. If you eat butter, you can put the lightest bit on there, but I don't find I need it because I have the oven up quite high for baking bread, so it browns anyway. So I'm just going to pop this straight into the oven as it is. Again, like I said, we're at 190. Our oven seal's gone, so this is my oven seal spoon, and I just gently put it in there. Seals my oven up. Okay, cool. As you can see, in that utilizing that 30 minutes that the dough was setting and rising, I have, this is how I get us ready. I chop up a big amount of veggies. We're having stir fry with tofu tonight. Yum. And then just as a simple, just to share, I chop my veggies up. Most of them I already have probably twice a week. I chop up veggies and I do it in a really big lot. So then when I finish work or a busy day with the kids or whatever, just come in, grab the veggies, and then I'm good to go. I've only got to cook them. So I've got some onion that we're going to have with our tofu, some pre-chopped ginger that I'd done a couple of nights ago, chili, that's for me because I do love chili. And then because we're stir frying tonight, and as I'm sure you know, and if you don't, you'll know now, I put the veggies that take slightly longer to cook in a different container. So the ones that take longer are cooked, and then of course the ones that don't take as long, like yummy cheese, they're not overcooked. So that's how I do that. What I do have to add to that is some angry lettuce, stir fry that all up, and done. Okay. All right, I'm going to get Mary Jane off to Kumon now while the bread is in the oven for probably 30 minutes. I'll check it at 30 minutes. It takes approximately 30, 35, 40 minutes. So I'm going to whiz her off to Kumon as a busy mum does, and then I'll be back to see you, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, carrot for the drive. Hi guys, welcome back. About 35 minutes later. Just get the bread. Here she is. Just a little loaf, perfect for dinner. You just see how easy it comes out with the paper in there. Pop it down. Awesome. One of the reasons why I don't make it like this, just singular loaf. This is really quite a small loaf. It normally comes up quite large, but like I said, I normally make it in a much bigger batch. Oh, that's a bit hot. In a bigger batch. So normally it's quite large. Actually, I'll show you a frozen piece. Let me show you already baked, sliced bread. Frozen in the freezer, ready for the kids to go. So you can see there's quite a size difference in this one. This one's really only quite small, so we will more than likely eat most of that tonight. And as I was saying, I don't make this during the week, like once or twice a week, because as soon as this cools down and is cool enough to eat, I'll eat it. So I'll have a slice, and I don't eat bread every day. I probably have bread for my own self. I probably have bread maybe 2-3 times a week. Okay. Bread. Yummy. Enjoy.